In this section, we're going to take a look at the array command. It's located in the Home tab in the ribbon. It's right in here, in Modify tab. So as I click on this small rectangle or triangle, when I click on it, it shows me the three types. It's rectangular array, path array, and polar array. We're going to show each command of these as we go further. Let's go ahead and pick one of the objects right here. First, let's zoom, click, drag, and click. We're gonna work on this table, but I want it to go down, so I'll select it and right click, move command. I'll choose the corner to move it from, and I go down. The reason I have this green dashed line because I have my polar tracking on and snapping tool on to make everything easier for me. The thing with polar tracking, about array, rectangular array, it goes with the positive axis. It's this side, from this object on this side, it's the positive x-axis, and from this object upward it will be positive y-axis. So let's go ahead and see how it works. I'll select this object and click on rectangular array. It gives me multiplied by 4 columns and 3 arrows. It's the default number. I can change it because it goes right to array creation. It created this tab right here. So let's go ahead and say we want 3 columns, press enter, and I want 1 arrow. There it is. There is another way to do that. Let's go ahead and undo it. I activate the rectangular array command, select an object, and then press enter. It will do it right away. So there are 2 ways to activate it. Let's go ahead and put 2 columns and 1 arrow. 1 arrow, yeah. There is something special with arrays. When you work with it, you see in the array creation tab, there is something called associative is activated. The thing with that is, let me just hit escape a couple times. You see, when you apply array command and you go to that object that you applied it on, it will be like a block. It will act like one object. So let's say you want to work only with one table. You just select it and then it takes you right to the array tab, but I don't want that. I just want to go to the home tab, and you see this in the modify, it's explode. So when you explode, you can work on each item or on each item by itself. So that's the thing with associative. Now we finished explaining the rectangular array. Now let's go ahead and pick a polar array and work on this sofa right here. We're gonna select the object, which is the sofa. You click and then enter. Now it's asking me the center point for this array. I'll pick the center point for this column. As I click, it created too many sofas, let's say. I'll reduce the number of items. Let's go ahead and say 3. Press enter. Now it's standing nice and pointing at each other around this point that I selected, and the associative is still on, so I'll hit escape a couple of times, select this one, and go to the home tab, then explode, so it can separate each sofa by itself. By finishing the polar array, it leaves us with the path array. First of all, let's create a path. Let's say it's a 3-point arc, just an example. So that's 1, 2, and that's 3. Okay, go ahead and move this plant to this point. So I select it and right click, move from the center, come on, to that point. Or there's another way. When I select an object and it shows this at the center, it turns red, I drag it. So there's another way to do a move command without going to select the command itself. So let's activate the array path array. I select this object. Now it's asking to select path curve. It's this curve that we created, so I'll click it, but it goes to the other way around. You see this arrow on the path. When you click on it, it gives you you can control the number of arrays that are done in my work. So say I want 5. I'm happy with this number, and also associative. So when I click on it and go to Home tab, Explode, it gives each plant by itself. Now there is a question in my head. When I planted or put the plant in here, why didn't follow this path that I made? The thing with AutoCAD, it goes with the positive polar tracking, which is counterclockwise. It goes that direction. In order to fix that, I will change its location. So I'll put it right there so it goes following that path. So I'll select this one, and when it turns red, I'll click and drag it, put it on that line, and then click again. Then I'll activate my path array, select the path curve, there it is, and goes along with that direction. So that's the thing. And I can change the spacing, so it's 2000. It goes deeper and more, or I can play with this, and that's it. Because my path is limited, it doesn't go all the way around. And again, it's associative active, so if I want to separate these plants, I explode it and it allows me to select each one by itself.